Masaji Vechero Paraja, Manjamangana Gangonia, Susore, Chicho, to some Javan Lacha, Jagajo, Bhagavata, Panjaparamata, Shitaya, Jodo Chumden, the Mashiro Japaro to Chimania Bottom, then the Mashiro Japaro to Jamba. Jazalon the Jeta Jeta Batu, Janajam, then the Japakov, Chako Pambara, Jamaji, Jambata, Joseph Jeta Jambata, Judo Susote, and then the Suman of Shijachi, General Jeting and Zalanyam. Yande ze Janju Samba Samba Jamba Baba Jereza Wonja Shiroja Baruto Jamba Soma Jabanya Nabata Jampamang Awata Layara Shiki Tomba Yanda Bajasota Watena Sanji to Satan Mashere Janju Samba Samba Jamba Baba Jereza Wonjula de Kitchen Sheripo Rijibo Rijibo Makana Shiroja Baruto Jamba Soma Jabajabanda Bade Jadala Baja Tegajamambata Janju Samba Samba Jamba Baba Jereza Wonju Satan the Bashere the Bolan de Kitchen so Sheripo Rijibo Makana Shiroja Baruto Samajabajabandabande, the Nambatawa, the Pomangaba, the Laya, Tomba, and the Sotombo, Tomani, Susura, Tomani, Shama, Tomani, Rajasoshima, and the Shintos water to shit and to shit and number Shibana Tombo Sheriff. The Jetomani, the same Manjaba Manga, but the Mamma, but the mother to home, but to home, but Kawama Bobo, Sheriff, the one at Tomani, no Sumet, so and the Shim and the German number ship, and now and a Chimil, may Mesometa, Marriage, mature, and the Media come and the Kame, number ship, can you Mariba Mangajes about the Yaman, the Tijan Tunga, what the Kujo, the Copa, the Mission, the Sherry Boat, the one to Samana, Bachara, Shiro, Parati, Matala, and the Senator, Pamijata, Pamijat, Young and the Water. The Sundana Sanjata Jeshira Jabarata Jabadala, the Nana Mayanda was of the Nomas of Sanja, so the one Shira Jabarata Chibanga, Pachamanga, Mabanga, Minyama, the Jambarjabanga, Dungata Jorota Shirojibanga, Mizabat. The Bashabaja de Chira Jabarata Jimanga, Mavatata, Omagata, the Paranga, the Parasanga, the Bote, so why Sherebo, Jusum Basambajabata, the Shira Jabarata Jamasamala, Brajo, and Egypt, the thing in the delicious. Jajusamba Sambajamba Bajara, Sonjola, Sochi, Javajana, Sola, Sorija, Potation, Notation, the Chitraki, Tambatishi, Shiroja Paruta, Jambala Chabachet, the Shishavan and Jesus, which of the Jetikas and that's the Mashere, but Jusamba Sambajamba. Onjuta Tajeta de Bakura, the Lada Mendalama in the Sajivejidera, the Jumde, the Jesum Balangomba, Tata, Omakateka, the Paranga, the Parasanga, the Bote, so Tata, Omakateka, the Paranga, the Parasanga, the Bote, so Tata, Omakateka, the Paranga, the Parasanga, the Bote. Dada Omakateka, the Paranga, the Parasanga, the Bote, so Tata, Omakateka, the Paranga, the Parasanga, the Bote, so Tata, Bataka, the Paranga, the Parasanga, the Bote, so Tata, Omakateka, the Paranga, the Parasanga. Bodhi sova namanamala chazalo sanjala chazalo jala chazalo jindala chazalo yunjamashara jabara jambala chazalo da jindibetse trovachi chitangala omba jeji yunjamashara jabara jambata soma yela se chakanda jabala tenete jila soma medibe chawata jishara dova teshinta taji yunjamashara jabara the Somayila says second to the Jabala, then at the Janos of Medivicho, the Jechera and Dova Juja, member Jujisho, Jujera, the Showa George, Kanjet Jeto, Jacova, member Jamama Chaba, member Tamama, member Nomama Tata, the Medicament of Anishita. So Vesanya Manaja Dambadella Chaza, Lord Jereto, Jejusho, the Menden, and the Temple Jefferson, Jobatashi, the Le Show, Michi, Jeporando, the Sonsanja Kunyamonia, Rasachuko, the Basa, Lamana Lachova. Gujarat, Tabjet, Jesher, Zotra, Shinjamento, Japanjaba, Sijalomba, Banjabako, Shejazo, the language, Tremor, Tujango, Mandashijanga, Tanjasaba, Kunjashi, Yamente, Gorenja, Gujas, Tazo Sajata, Lochos, and Roaching, love the Chalando, watching, you love the soil, Lantropas, watching, you love the soil, Tobaishis, watching, you love the soil, Nijita Pandalaman Solage, George, Jason Jalham Solage, Nasa Pandalaman Solage. Tobe Tatu watching yell of the soil, Tujishin watching yell of the soil, and the number yell of the soil, Chaja Chamber, Young Road, sending yellow to Bachi yell of those, Sanyakunda Sawa Lamala, Kusungo Pachambecha, Salon, the Mineral Roshibatan, Satan Robanya Bachin yellow. Okay. Good morning. So we are continuing the Sukhavati Pure Lands. Prior to the reborn in the Sukhavati Pure Land, Basically, we said everybody want to go to the heaven, but nobody want to go to now. But maybe that is true, because I think nobody wishing to be in their life now. But sooner or later, we have to be end this life. Doesn't matter. There's no one will be continuing. So it's better to prepare now than later. Because this kind of a preparation take time. It not like suddenly happen, So it's because this is a emotion preparation. So emotion preparation take longer than physically preparation, because physically it's easier to change our outfit or whatever we're wishing is not that difficult, but emotionally mind changing is not easy. So that preparation take much longer. So there's it's called the 4 cause to reborn in the Sugodi Pure Land. In this text, remembering the Pure Land again and again, one, and accumulation of merit. Those 2 are already gone. And Bodhicitta is not directly in this text mention how to generate the Bodhicitta. But if you look on the dedication part from the 7 lamb offering, in the dedication part, there's the direct word of Bodhicitta is there. So what is the Bodhicitta mean? The 2 set of the mind, wishing to be achieve enlightenment, benefit of sentient beings. So that one is here in the dedication, page 16 is a verse said, benefit for all being, may they be quickly attain the unsurpassable awakening and empty samsara. So that is may all quickly, may all mean that me and all sentient beings. So that is a bodhicitta. Both there are 2 aspects of the mind of a self and other. Self benefit for the sentient being and what called the aspiration to achieve the complete Buddhahood. So that reason, bodhicitta is also part of this text too mentioned. Now, 4th cause to reborn in the Amitabha or Sugawati Pure Land. As you can say dedication or aspiration prayer. That aspiration prayer, which is a I think we stop here. We stop, I think, page 18. It said, suffering in the lower state is unbearable, and the pleasure of the deva and human are impermanent. May I be afraid of this, and throughout the beginningless time up to now, samsara has lasted for a very long time. Okay, that's maybe. So this is it. This is mainly as called the main obstacle to the reborn in the Pure Land of the Sugawati Pure Land is the being attached to the samsara. pleasure of samsara. Long as we be attached to the pleasure of the samsara, then we have no chance to can be reborn in the Pure Land. So we need to cut the attachment. So how do we can cut the attachment? There's 5 different way to thinking. First one is that there's so many harm in the samsara. So by thinking harmfulness of samsara, so we can cut the attachment. So what kind of harmfulness of the samsara is that suffering of the lower state is unbearable. So there's a Nagarjuna's letter to friend. He said, if, for example, in this life, 300 soldiers, poking you the sharp weapon on your body, every day, and if you think about that, suffering is unbearable. And he said, if you compare to the hell beings suffering, this suffering of the 300 soldiers, like a poking on your body is nothing. So that kind of suffering. Another example, heat of the hell heat. What is the temperature of the hell heat? Normally we said sandalwoods fire is 7 times harder than ordinary woods fire. And the end of the Kalpa, when our planet is ending, there's also burned by the fire. That fire is 7 times harder than regular what called sandalwoods fire. Then hell fire is 7 times harder than end of the Kalpa's fire. So that much temperature of the heat, and until your karma is finished, that fire, no matter how hard it is, not going to kill you, only can burn you, but without killing. So that reason, hell beings suffering is intolerable, unbearable. There's one story. Miss Ngok, are you there? Maybe she's not here. Okay, I think she's not here. So there's one story. Ananda had 2 nephews. They become a monk. They joined to the monastery. But they were so lazy and they caught up with so distracted with the playing, because they are kids and they really like to play. So most of the day they spend their life by playing games, around the monastery, like most of kids does that one. So one day, I think Mogeyana or one of Arhat took them to hell, just sightseeing for the hell, because those Arhat, because of their power, they can travel to the hell and they can take ordinary people there too, to show through their power. So then they saw the hell beings are suffering. When they come back, they never had a feeling of hunger or thirst or anything, because of that suffering was so, anytime they think about the suffering, they throw it out. They don't feel like I want to eat. After they eat, even they think about that and they throw out that food. So because of the fears and they put effort so much, and after that, quickly they reach to the arhatship. So that is one example that how how strong, I mean, how uh, great suffering in the lower realm. So the reason here saying is a suffering of the lower state is unbearable. So like hell is divided into two kinds of sufferings called the suffering of the heat and suffering of the cold. Like a cold hell is there's only ice, there's even no dry land. And the ice are extremely cold that your all the skin crack. Normally our body, human body, when our body is a cold or heat, extreme of cold and heat, we died. But unfortunately, hell beings, they couldn't die from that cold or that heat until their karma is finished. So the other one is to stay a long period of time, not just only like sometimes suffering, not just only like a little while suffering. It's just that their lifespan is so long. And so that way, unbearable suffering and long period of time in the samsara, in the lower realms. Then, of course, low hell realms and hungry ghosts is a tormented suffering with hunger, thirst, and darkness. I mean, even in the summer, even the sun is cold, chill you. Sorry. Even in the summer, even the moon is hot. In the winter, even sun is cold. So that kind of experience have hell beings. Hungry ghosts. Then the animal, I mean, most of the animal we can see, we experiencing there's two kind of animal living in under the water and animal living on the ground. Both of them are so suffering that they cannot eat or drink water for 1 minute without worrying. So that much suffering going on in the animal realms. That's, I think we don't need to talk that much. Then animal live with a human being. We abuse them so many different ways, So then we will see. Sometimes you may think, oh, long as I feed them good food and I give them good place, I'm treating them good. But they still, they are lacking some freedom and they cannot go wherever they want. They cannot do whatever they want, so much restrict. So it's just like a, kind of like a prison. So when we think all those low realms and that their suffering is unbearable, okay, then pleasure of the deva and human are impermanent. I mean, we can see our own pleasure, no matter how much you pleasure, it ends with the suffering. That pleasure itself will become a source of suffering. Then also that pleasure is not have a continuity. It's only short time. That short time pleasure will become a source of suffering, especially because it is a short time and we feel more suffering. Like if you go in the summer, if you go to the air-conditioned room, then go out, then the day is it feel harder than before, so things like that. Even human realm, we have some degree of a pleasure. In the God realm, they have some degree of a pleasure, but it's impermanent and only short period of time. So that reason said Deva and humans are pleasure of the Deva and human are impermanent. May be afraid of this. So that by thinking of that, then you're not going to be kind of be enjoy with that. Like I think in this prayer earlier, they said, pleasure of the human and a deva or God realm is like a poisonous, delicious food. If you don't know that food have a poison, you will enjoy with that. But if you know that food had a poison, you will never try to eat that one. So we are enjoying the pleasure of samsara like not knowing the food is poisoned. And we eating that one. So that way, then once we know that food had poison, then we will afraid. But so far, we are lack of knowledge with that. So that reason we, without the, can say, concerned, try to enjoy temporary that pleasure. Okay, that is one. Now, second one is said we have to afraid about too long in the samsara. So why this second one come is sometimes people may think, oh, it's a suffering. It's okay. It's a short time, But this suffering, it will try to find the beginning. There's no beginning when it start our suffering. So that way I said, throughout the beginningless time up to now, samsara has a last for a very long time. And I feel sorrow about this, sorrow or renounce, like not wanting anymore, because this suffering of samsara really have a measurement of when it start as a beginning. There's no beginning level. So samsara have no beginning. Since samsara have no beginning, that suffering of the, those low realm or higher realms of suffering, continue we experience this. Reason why? Because we continually creating the cause of suffering with a negative emotion. So that way they will never end it by naturally. And it had no beginning and it will not going to end by the naturally. So that way, there's no point of being attached to the pleasure of samsara. And no point of being attached to the samsara itself. There's one, I think, the Sutra of the Mindfulness. It said, hell beings hurt by the fire of hell. Hungry ghosts hurt by the hunger and thirst. And the animal are hurt by the stupidity and ignorance. And human beings hurt by short time of that pleasure. And God realm are hurt by the heedlessness, because since they are not experiencing that directly suffering at the moment, they become careless. Because of that careless, and they never prepare for the when that death comes. So that way, and at the time of the death, they will see their next life, and they have a great suffering. So that is caused by the careless, or heedlessness. So that reason, if we look the measure the samsara, said even the needle tip size of samsara, you're not going to find the truly joy or truly happiness. So that is what the samsara means. So that way we have to be here, they translate as a feel sorrow about this, feel sorrow, feel renounce, or kind of like a sadness about that situation. Now here, third one, even we are born in the human realm, still there's a tormentors of suffering. So that way I said, I may be born repeatedly in the human beings, but I would experience birth, aging, sickness, death, and countless time. There are many obstacles in this degeneration times. So there's basically human suffering, and particularly during the degeneration times. So basically, even we're not born to the low realm, like hell realm, hungry ghosts, and animals. Maybe we said because of our some degree of a practice or merit, we can be born to the human again and again. But human, if we look at human life, there's no really truly happiness. So generally, all human beings tortured by the 8 great suffering of the birth, suffering of the aging, suffering of the sickness, and suffering of the death. Yes, we don't remember the suffering of the birth, but we remember the suffering of the aging. We remember the suffering of the sickness, and we remember the suffering, and we will know the suffering of the death. I mean, like we already suffering, now about the death. We're worrying so much about the death constantly. I heard someone really old. Basically, they want to die. They said, I'm too old. But then they're afraid of, this bed is really narrow. If I fall down, it maybe can kill me. This is really dangerous. So something like that. They don't want to, they want to die, but at the same time, they got to worry about the death. So that is showing us even we're ready, but still not really truly ready. Why? Because death is a part of the suffering. And that is, I think, every human being go through. And on that, we have called us other 4 suffering of the, not finding what we're wishing, suffering of the losing what we have, suffering of the meeting with the unpleasant one, and the suffering of the separating from the loved one. So that kind of suffering continually, this is a, it's a lot like a sometime or not one time, or it's a continually. So I mean, if you look at human life, first we are busy to try to build our education and career or whatever is try to build. And when you're educated and when you get all those degrees, then you are busy with building your life, career or whatever. And you're busy working, and you get tired, you get old, then you have to retire. When you retire, there not much can do, too late. So basically, we wasted, if we look this way, we really truly wasted our life for nothing. Because whatever we did in the living, none of them going to be benefit at the time of the death. You cannot take all of them. So pretty much just the circle is ended. What called that? That is in generally, and particularly during the degeneration time, there are many obstacles, especially many obstacles to the practice of the Dharma. So there's called the 5 degenerate time. Sometimes it's called the 5 dregs. I think DREGS, 5 dregs, or 5 degenerations. Drag of the afflicted emotions, because nowadays our afflicted emotions are much stronger than before. So that is called the drag of the afflicted emotions. And drag of the view, it means the degeneration of the view, means that nowadays most of people have a more and more wrong view. And drag of the lifespan. I think if we look the quality, I think our lifespan is increasing. Seems increasing because now there are more and more people living over 100 years. More and more people living close to 90 years. More and more people living close to, above 80s. But when you look the quantity, quality, I don't think so. We have that much life. Our life is really short. There are so many distractions. Year goes so fast. So that way, even the quantity or living age is maybe seems longer, but quality, I don't think so. It's that long because so many distractions. And it's called the degeneration of the sentient being. Mean that now sentient beings' mind is more become disturbed emotion like anger, hatred, jealousy. Those are getting stronger. So, and the degeneration of the time mean that look how many disease now have there. How many wars going on. Those all is increasing. So those are called the degeneration time. So because of this degeneration of that much also have a to the practice the Dharma. Practitioner feel more sickness. Dharma practitioner feel more problem. If you try to really sincerely practice the Dharma, sometimes you facing more problem. I heard there was a Tibetan monk. When he was a monastery, every time he gets sick. But then one day he disrupted. Since then he became so healthy. So because of the degeneration, there are more obstacles to the practice of Dharma. So that way, many obstacles in this degeneration time. Obstacles, especially obstacle to the practice related to the Dharma, because sometimes not related to the Dharma may be successful. If we just looking on the success of the materially, and in the Tibetan we said actually in the barbarian have a more rich people than than others. So that way it's not really become a success. Doesn't mean they just have material things. So that reason that the pleasure of the human, that's here. Pleasure of the human deva are like the food mixed with a poison. May I have not so much hear word of the desire for them, may family, food, wealth, and friends. Pleasure of the human and God realm, I say, why is called the food mixed with a poison? Is because any kind of pleasure would end up with the suffering. So that reason in the we normally use as a suffering of changing. Why is it called the suffering of changing? Because it never continues. If stay on that pleasure, I think there's nothing wrong with that. But more you experience the pleasure, the day you losing, more you harder to deal with it. So that reason it's like a food mixed with a poison. So that way, may I have not so much as a hear word of the desire for them. Here's word of desire for them. In Tibetan said the Dopo memberships, it's not desire them even the small way, because there's nothing to be desirable. There's only hurt you. So there's nothing to be likable, nothing to be, beneficial. My family, food, wealth, and friends are impermanent, like the illusion of dream. So my family, the relative, when we are far, like a distance, we are suffering by missing them. But when we are close with them and they are suffering by the conflict, they are always, nowadays, especially nowadays, I think lots of conflict between the civilians, between the family member, each others. So that way, those are source of sufferings. Then food, wealth, and friends. So there's a food and wealth is best same. Whatever we attach, that can be caused to, obstacle to the reborn in the Pure Land. There was a story. One old monk, he had one piece of meat. When he died, he attached on that. So, and until one other monk did the purification ritual to the burning ritual, the old monk's conscience was stuck around that meat, and someone who being attached to the like a kind of their tools, then that tool become like a snake. My teacher told me one day he was washing clothes in the small river, and he heard the sound of a metal in the water. When he looked, there was a like snake size of a kind of like an animal, kind of a like snake is running, and the end of the tail there's a metal ring. So in Tibet we have a rope, carrying the rope, tightening things and carry on back, have a leather rope. The leather rope has become like a snake in the water. How it become that one is because the owner will have attachment on that when they died, and they become that body as a like a snake. There was one story I heard as one shepherd really attached to his sling. Then when he died, because of the attachment, the sling become like snake. So even small things like that, when we attach, then our conscience will stuck with it. So attachment is basically like a glue. Wherever you put the glue, you will stuck with there, cannot separate. So these things like family, food, wealth, and friend, they become cause to obstacle of being reborn in the Pure Land of the Sukhavati. So there's a two kind of friends, called the evil friend and a spiritual friend. Spiritual friend means that your guru, or your Dharma brother and sister of the great practitioner. If you haven't been attached to them, that's good. Why is good? Is a like if you died thinking about your guru, or if you die thinking of Lord Jidisumgun or Milarepa, you will be reborn in that pure land. So when that is a friend, mean that that kind of friend, spiritual friend, is good, because your conscience will go with them wherever they are. But if you attach to the evil companion or evil friend, like a mundane friend, then you will be stuck with them. Your consciousness will be stuck around there. So, and have a harder to, free from the samsara. So that way, when come to the friend, I think maybe there's a two type of friend. If it's called a spiritual friend, I think good. Be attached to the spiritual friend, that's good, because wherever the spiritual friend, like your guru, wherever they born, you will be born there because of that attachment, connection, whatever you call. You can say attachment, you can say devotion. Jidesumgun, there's one teaching said in the future to his disciple, when your parent died, he said, when your parent died, they will think about you. When they think about you, they will think about me too, because I'm your. So even your parents have good chance to be born in the Pure Land because of that connection. Even they not practice Dharma. Because, that especially at that time when he was teaching, those his disciples are come from the far way. So parents definitely miss them. When parents miss them, especially when they die, they will think about them. So that thought of the thinking about their kids, it will connect it to their teacher. So that is how can be have a chance to reborn in the Pure Land of anywhere like Sukhovati or any Pure Land. So Jidesumgun's one teaching said that one, you're even not just only you, even your parent and relative, whoever think about you at the time of your death, they will be born in the Pure Land too. So when we attach to the guru, when we attach to the spiritual master, there's nothing wrong with that, because that actually help us to reborn in the Pure Land. So now, what should we think about the family, food, wealth, and all the mundane friends? We must think them as may they have not, or say the male, so they are like or impermanent, like illusion or dream. You have to think them as impermanent. One, sooner or later we have to separate, no matter how, no matter who they are, whoever we come together, one day have to separate. That is the nature of the law. No one can stop from that. So that way you have to think about the impermanent, and they are illusion. Why? Because there's a truly not exist. So the meeting with a relative today and seeing relative in the last night dream have not much different. When come tomorrow, last night dream and yesterday's relative meeting cannot separate that much. So we have to think them as an illusion, like a dream. In the dream, if you have something good dream, you're happy. If something happened, bad dream, you're really upset. But just it's this illusion. So just a dream. There's nothing real. So we have to think them as an illusion. We have to think them as an impermanent. Then it helps us to cut the attachment. may I have not much as a hair worth of attachment to them. So like hair is a really tiny, even not have a tiny attachment, because if you tied by the hair, it's not that strong, but still you're not totally free from that whatever, So same way, even the tiniest attachment can become obstacles. So you have to learn how to detach, even the not have tiniest. So that way, hair's word mean the kind of like a size of attachment talking about. My land, my vaccinity and my home are just like one's home in the dream. So this is the fourth one, how to cut the attachment to the property or land. So we have to see them as a home in the dream, because at the dream, you will have a different home. You may see this and that. But when you wake up, doesn't matter it's a good one or bad one, it's no longer there. Same way, our right now home or property or place, say like a dream, sooner or later it will be no longer. So may I know them the unreal, it means the illusion. May I flew the ocean of samsara from which is so hard to get free. Like Palin escaping from the prison. May I be flew the realm of the Sukhavati. So if somebody is escaping from the prison, they never look back. They never, try to slow down. They put all their effort to run away from that, much farther they can. Similarly, we have to try to cut attachment. There's one story. One merchant, they go to in the ocean to pick up the jewel. So there's one captain and 500 his people, boatmen. When they're traveling, the boat was crashed. When the boat was crashed, they land in the one island. Then the island have a beautiful place. There are many women, they serve them, welcome them. They make them, their husband, and they make the home there. But then captain have some sense of there's something wrong with this. So then later he learned that this is what called the symboling. Symbol is some kind of like the basically being they eat the human flesh. So the other people came before them, but when they arrived, they ate all other people and except the new one. So there is a Bodhisattva horse come once, I think once a month or once a year in a particular location to have a grass and enjoy some kind of drink water. And if you can hold a slice of hair, it will take you to your destination. So that captain said, this is the vicious demons land. It's not human being, they are demon. If we not escape, we have a chance to lose our life in here. So we have to escape. Then there's one horse, Bodhisattva horse, will take us. But the condition is only you can hold the, but even the hair by one single hair can, stay on the horse, long as you're not attached to the land or people around there, the land. So then the captain advised all of them, don't attach, and don't attach to your children. You don't attach to your wife or place. We have to escape from this demon's land because they manifest as a form of human. So, and all them got on the horse, but then those demons came, with the children, said, why are you leaving? We miss you. Please stay with us. We want to be, you stay around us. Your children are here. Where are your family? Your house is here. Where you want? Then a lot of them attached to the children or wife, they fall down. Because of the attachment, they fall down. And those demons, they ate them. Then only like this captain and I think few of them only can escape. So that is showing us even we have a captain like a guru, and the dharma as those that bodhisattva or horse of the path. If we attach to the samsara, we have no chance to liberate from the samsara. We will remain continually. The captain of the guru and the dharma of the bodhisattva or horse cannot liberate us from the samsara. So how to cut the samsara? Attachment. Long as we have an attachment, there's aversion comes. So main cause of samsara is these two, attachment and aversion. So the reason here, Chamen Raga Asa is teaching us how to cut the attachment of all those like place, wealth, including your own body. I think I mentioned this story. One woman, she's really beautiful, so attractive. And she was traveling in the boat, a boat will crash, she died. Because of that, she attached her own look. And she was born as a snake. And around that body, that snake is staying with that dead body of the heart. So that way, I think you shouldn't spend too much time in front of the mirror. When you spend too much time in front of the mirror, maybe if your body is burned, maybe you will attach, stuck with a womb or something with your body. The ash of your body is a berry, you may become those womb who eat your own body and stuck there long period of time. So that way, we have to cut that attachment. So how to cut that attachment is think samsara as like a prison, and how to escape that. So have to be to how to escape to the from the person is the same way to renounce from this samsara. When come to our consciousness, dreaming consciousness is more clear, more sharper than awake one. And the Bardo consciousness is much more like 7 times I think sharper than the dream conscious. So that way, Bardo have some kind of clairvoyant. So this one is have to, I think, build that clairvoyant at the so because if we have attachment now in the dream, also we have same experience. Then that means that in the bardo also we will have the same experience. Then that can cause to really, stay in the, even sometime, even we have those all four cause to the rebirth in the pure land of the Sukha body, still not got born in the Sukha body because of that attachment. So that way we have to learn this attachment. So without the looking back. So we have to run to the samsara without the looking back. Okay, now 51. In the samsara, we have to cut attachment to all the materials. Said, having served all craving of the clinking, may I fly through the western sky like vulture free from the snare. Having served, this is chak shen, craving and clinging. Cha is basically attach. Shenpa is more like a, consume, or more like a Shenpa is like more like a attach of like food, wealth, material, family, and those like so. So basically, they are Tiwa mean the kind of like a you're stuck. Some like when your food is stuck in the net, if you want to, you're stuck there in the net. So that kind of some kind of way to stuck because of the craving and clinking. So we have to serve or cut that attachment. So then once you cut that attachment, then what you have to do is fly through the western sky like vulture free from the snare. When a bird is caught in the bird cage, when they get chance to escape, they will not look back. They just go directly farther as they can. So that way, without that being attached or being clinging in the net of a cage of samsara. So once we free from that, then go to the western sky like. So western sky like mean that because the Sukhavati Pure Land or is Amitabha Pure Land, so west up this from west of our land. So that way, that direction. Okay, so then third one. Now, why we need to go to the Sukhavati? Then we have to know the Pure Land, quality of the Pure Land. So that's this, first we have to cut all those attachment, those attachment which cause us to stay in the samsara. Now we have to think about their quality of the Sukhavati Pure Land. First one is said, passing countless words in the instant and search Sukhavati, may I see the face of the Amitabha. Who is actually present there, may all be obscuration be purified. And the best of the four rebirth in the instantaneous birth in the heart of the lotus flowers. So this, what say, may I see the face of Amitabha. I think seeing the face of Amitabha is not just only rebirth in the Sukhavati Pure Land. But they're saying is because I mean we earlier said Sukhavati Pure Land rebirth is ordinary people can be reborn there too. But when some ordinary, when they're reborn in the Sukhavati, I think sometimes they not see the Buddha Amitabha as a Buddha. Sometimes they don't see as a Buddha Amitabha as a light and all those qualities, and they don't see the major and minor marks. Sometimes I think then by purifying their karmic obscurations, then they will they see the truly after the seeing the Buddha Amitabha, but not see that those qualities. Then by the purifying the obscuration of a karmic obscuration, then they will see directly Buddha Amitabha as a Nirmanakaya form with a major and minor mark and light. So I think there was in India, there's called one girl name is Mudi Tishin. And by seeing Buddha's image, she reached to the Arhathood. So sometimes just seeing that Buddha itself purifying and reach to the path of the seeing. So basically, it's said even you are born in the ordinary as a not have a not reach to the path of the seeing because of the karmic obscuration. By seeing the Amitabha Buddha, it will purify all your karmic obscuration and reach to the path of the seeing. So that is what it means that may all my obscuration be purified. That obscuration, especially karmic obscuration, I think. Best of the four birth is an instantaneous birth as a heart of the lotus flower. There's a four different kind of a birth. Like most of a human being born from the womb, so birth from the womb, and lots of insect born from the moisture, so it's called the birth from the moisture or heat. And like lots of animal, like birds, they're born from the egg, so birth from the egg. Then hell beings or higher realm, like god realms, they're born from the instantaneous, or sometimes it's called the miracle births. So what is the difference between the birth from the egg or womb and miracle birth? Is a miracle birth is not take that long to grow up. Like a bird from the womb, how long take? Like basically, like a government give us 18 years to take time to grow up. It's legally 18 years. Until you turn to the 18, you're not yet adult. It means that you're not yet grow up complete. When you turn 18, then by law said that one. So that long take to the grow up from the womb, but miracle birth is grow up much faster than that. Pretty much immediately you become adult after the rebirth. So in the Devajan, the beings not born from the womb or eggs, only I think born from the lotus. So that is called the miracle. May I take such as a birth, as a miracle birth. It translates as a instantaneous birth. Instantaneous birth and miracle birth. And here said, different is also, he said, my body complete in instant. That is different. So body completion is not take like 18 years. It's instantly we become adult. May it have the mark and sign. So through the Amitabha Sukhavati Pure Land, once born and see the Buddha's face to face, receive all teachings and practice. One day you will reach to the nirvana that have all the mature and mental marks. I don't think so. This is talking about all those mark and sign. The enlightened one is immediately after, right after the birth. It's not necessarily you will see Buddha as immediately right after the birth. Even you meet with the Buddha, you're not going to recognize. So that is to show us, right now we meet all the spiritual masters. Lots of time, even we call them, like a reincarnation of such and such or guru, but we just see as a one human body. Some are a little bit, better looking. Some are less better looking, but we basically see as a human being. There's one story, Milareva's life story. There's one girl. She went to see Milareva, and she said, the people talking about that so much about the Mount Kailash, she said. But if you actually go there, it's just one mountain, a little bit covered with snow. They're nothing special. And there's one Lake Manasa, or there's a near Mount Kailash. Many people talk about that, the lake also, so spiritually and this and that. But just it's a little bit lower ground, just holding some water. And there's a really famous yogi, Milarepa. There's a really famous, but if you see him, it's just one shameless old man who's just basically walking with a naked body. so like that, when we meet with a Buddha, until our own obscuration, especially karmic obscuration, is purified, I think it's hard to see Buddha as a Buddha. More likely, we will see them as a human, and sometimes even we don't see as a human beings. So that is showing us that way. Even that we're born in the Sukhavati Pure Land, I don't think so. Right way we see Buddha as a enlightened beings. Even we see Buddha, they say some of those quality like in Buddha's, major mental mark, light, and those qualities not necessarily see them immediately, but by seeing the Buddha, from that to purified all your negative karma and karmic obscurations, then you will meet with face to face that Buddha, truly Buddha was. So I think this is like maybe it's a process of even after the Pure Land. And also this a body with the major mental marks with the signs. I'm not sure it's immediately you will have that kind of body, but you will have a chance to reach that body with that kind of body. So that way I said may have the mark and the sign. But then doubt as to whether it's not I will be born there would case me to remain in the lotus for 500 years. I would be happy and comfortable and would hear the Buddha's speech, but because of the flower not opening. So now, lots of time we have a doubt. Maybe this is not true. Maybe this is not right. Certain things we should be doubt, because Buddha himself said you have to analyze your own, using your own common sense, through your common sense to follow. But certain things is impossible to use our own common sense. They are so subtle or so what called that? Let us say this. Now no word is not coming. Certain things that human eye or human sense cannot be completely comprehended. So we have to follow to the word of Buddha's teachings. So that reason, without a doubt, we have to try to build the confidence and trust and faith. Even you have all those 4 courses to rebirth in the Pure Land, you complete all 4 courses of the Pure Land. But if you doubt, maybe this will bring to the Pure Land or may not. If you doubt, then what happened is you may born in the Pure Land, but lotus will not open, and you stay in the lotus for like 500 years. And you can hear the Buddha's speech, but because of the flower not open, may seeing Buddha face would be delayed. May that not happen to me. So So actually here one word is missing. Sanje Shenje Chiwekun. So delayed and too late. So Buddha's seeing face is kind of becoming too late. So so that way, without a doubt, with the fully faith, fully confident, we should accumulate this for merit, or created the 4 cause to reborn in the Pure Land. Then when we without a doubt, it would created the 4 cause to reborn. Soon as I was born in my flower open and my Amitabha face. See. And I said, when you see the Buddha through the merit and miracle flowers, through the merit. So what is the through the merit mean? We accumulate the merit right now. Like earlier, we mentioned 7 lamb offerings, mandala offerings. There are lots of different ways you can accumulate the merit. You can accumulate the merit by serving to the need one. You can accumulate the merit by offering to the deity or offering to the mandala. You can accumulate by offering of the feast offering. So there's a many different way you can accumulate the merit. That power of that merit, then when you're born in the Amitabha Pure Land, you have immediately all this miracle power may have a vast cloud of offering. So vast cloud of offering is like an offering is completely filled with the space. That way, cloud of offering is like a cloud itself is not offering. Cloud like offering. I think maybe it's better say cloud like offering. It means that like completely filled with the space with the offering. Offering emanate from my palm, and may I be present them to the Buddha and his entourage. Entourage means the retinue. At the time, may the Tathagata extend his hand, right hand, and place it on my head. I may receive the prophecy of my awakening, having heard profound and vast Dharma. And may be being to ripening the liberated, may I be pleased at the care for the two formers Bodhisattva, Avalokiteshvara and Vajrapani. So may I be ripening and liberate. Ripening is basically it's kind of like a prepare, ready. Liberate is actually reach to the realization. So ripening is more like a purification, removing the or making the ready. So like in the Vajrayana, we use as a empowerment as a ripening and practice as a liberations. So through the empowerment to prepare, ready to that can practice. So then I will liberate. So that way is ripening and liberate maybe blessed and cared for by those two forms, Bodhisattva, Avalokiteshvara, and Vajrapani. Those are the two main disciples of the Amitabha. Every day, innumerable Buddha and Bodhisattva gather from the 10 directions in order to the present offering and Amitabha view that realm and at that time. And may I attend them and receive the Amrit of the Dharma with the unimpeded miraculously power. I may go to the realm of the joyous, glorious, perfect action and destiny area. Going there and morning, may I receive empowerment, blessing, and vow from the Akshobhya, Ranasambhava, Amagha Siddhi, and Virajana of the other Buddha, and having present many offering, may I return without the difficulty of the Sukhavati in this evening. So, not just only those old Buddha and Bodhisattva come to the Amitabha Pure Land, also come and receive the blessing and teaching from them to you. Also yourself, you can travel from the different Pure Land, like where there's a Amitabha essay, like from the 5 Buddha family, Lotus family, and the West realm, and also there's a East realm, Central realm, South and North. So all of those Buddhas realm and travel, receive teaching and offering to them, and end of the day return back to the Amitabha Pure Land. And I think same here also Podala is a Pure Land of the Avalokiteshvara. Alakavati is a Pure Land of also of the Vajrapani. And Chamara Deva and Udiyana. Chamara Deva is where Pema Sambhava left for that realm, and Udiyana is a human realm, and now is like Pakistan. And those is called and it's a billion universe realm as a Nirmanakaya realm, made with a billion Avalokiteshvara Taras. So why is called the billion Nirmanakaya realms? As a one billion realm, like this our planet is a one realm. This kind of 1 billion is liberated by one Nirmanakaya Buddha. So that we call the billion Nirmanakaya realm. Mean each Nirmanakaya Buddha liberate 1 billion universe beings. They kind of like so I think that way. Made with a billion Avalokiteshvara, Tara, Vajrapani, Sambhava, and I represent the ocean of offering to them and receive the empowerment and profound instructions. May I quickly then return in the unimpeded. So I mean that pretty much is really simple. Receive the empowerment and perform instruction. I think this is pretty much same. Okay, now what kind of way? Yes. May I be on resident at the Sukhavati? Okay, return to my resident of the Sukhavati. I think today going a little bit too fast, and feel a little bit not so good. So we stop here, okay? And I think rest is we'll finish next week. I think next week we'll finish this. Definitely. I think so. I don't know. We'll see. But I think today I want to stop here because it's kind of my mind is also not working. A little bit tired. So.